Hey brother, there comes a pivotal moment in every man's life, a moment when the illusions finally fade, when the comforting lies no longer hold any weight. It's the moment you stop sugarcoating the truth, stop making excuses, and stop pretending that what you see and feel isn't real. This is the moment when the switch flips inside you, when you say to yourself with clear eyes and a steady heart, I no longer blindly trust or believe any woman on this planet, not because you hate women, not because you're bitter or broken from a single wound. No, this isn't the bitterness of a man crushed once and retreating. It's the wisdom of a man who has been through enough pain, enough betrayal, enough heartbreak to recognize the unchanging patterns beneath the surface. You've witnessed the smiles that once warmed your soul fade into cold silence. You've heard the promises whispered with sweetness dissolve into echoes of betrayal. You felt the love that once burned bright vanish the moment life's challenges came knocking. And in that painful, unavoidable realization, you don't find bitterness, you find freedom. Freedom from the endless cycle of hope followed by disappointment. Freedom from questioning your own sanity for feeling the way you do. You're not broken, you're not weak for holding your guard up, you're not crazy for seeing through the fog. For decades, society has fed you a lie, through movies, books, songs, and even schools, a story that women are inherently nurturing, gentle, loyal, and pure. And maybe some are, but the truth is harsher, more complex. Most women aren't wired for unconditional anything. Their love, their loyalty, their attention, it all comes with terms, conditions, and expiration dates. The moment you stop fulfilling the emotional needs they crave, whether it's constant attention, status, comfort, or validation, they begin to drift away. You can be the exact same man you were yesterday, steady and true. But if today she doesn't feel the spark, suddenly you're a stranger to her. This isn't love, it's a transaction disguised as romance. I no longer trust her words, the you're the one, the I'd never leave you, the you're different. I've heard every line. You probably have too. Words spoken from emotional highs are just words, empty and fleeting. A woman in the moment will say anything to keep the light shining. But when life tests her, when you're broke, stressed, exhausted, or laser focused on your mission, that's when the mask slips. That's when you finally see her true self. And if her actions don't match the promises she made, then what you were building together was nothing more than a castle built on shifting sand, a future constructed on a feeling, a momentary illusion, a lie dressed up as hope. Quick break. Close your eyes for a second. Picture her, the girl you've always wanted. Feel what it would be like to actually have her. Now open your eyes, because here's the truth. Right now, you're invisible to her. You're getting outcompeted by guys with more money, better looks, higher status, and stronger game. You're playing a rigged game, and you're losing. But I've spent the last 35 years mastering this, studying, testing, and finally finding the secrets to get the girls I always wanted. You want to stop getting ignored? You want her chasing you? Then you need to wake up and act. Click the link in the comments if you are truly committed and take the first step toward becoming that guy. Few spots left. Be fast or miss out your last chance to make her yours. Let's get back to it. The trust I once held, it's gone. Not because of a single woman, but because of what I've seen, time and time again, over and over. It's the pattern that's burned itself into my bones. Women who cheat, then shed tears over loneliness as if pain erases the betrayal. Women who manipulate the truth, twisting themselves into victims the moment they're caught, deflecting responsibility like it's a game. Women who walk away from stable, loving men, chasing the chaos of fleeting excitement, only to return when the thrill fades and the damage is done. And no one dares call them out. No one holds them accountable because modern culture shields them. Society protects their stories, their actions, their selfishness, while the men who gave everything are left to clean up the wreckage. Meanwhile, those men are told to man up, to move on, to do better, as if pain and loyalty are liabilities, as if being hurt makes you less of a man. Brother, I've watched too many good men crumble under this weight. Too many warriors broken and abandoned by a world that celebrates inconsistency and excuses selfishness. And I refuse to be one of them. You can hear it in the way women talk. The casual dishonesty disguised as charm. They claim they love honesty, but snap at the first word of truth. They say they want loyalty, but run after the ones who treat them like an option, a backup plan. They swear they're done with games, yet play the most dangerous, invisible ones behind the scenes. The problem isn't just that women lie, it's that they lie to themselves so thoroughly, so convincingly, they believe their own stories, and that makes them unpredictable, unstable, impossible to anchor your life to. You can't build a future with someone who shifts like the wind, who breaks promises and commitments based on how they feel this week, this day, this moment. That's not partnership. That's gambling with your heart, your time, your sanity. Look around you. How many women do you really know who stayed loyal from start to finish? Who stuck around when it wasn't convenient? Who didn't run at the first sign of discomfort or challenge? How many actually honored their word when emotions ran wild? The answer is harsh, raw, and brutal, almost none, because in today's world, society rewards walking away, chasing better opportunities, doing what's easiest and best for oneself, and any man who dares expect loyalty, who demands consistency, is immediately branded as controlling, insecure, or worse. That's the clown world we live in now. Upside down, backwards, a game rigged against those who play by old rules of honor and commitment. And here's the harsh truth. If you don't adjust to this reality, you'll be the one left confused, drained, and empty, emotionally bankrupt, and wondering what went wrong. I don't trust the good girl anymore. Not because I'm cynical, but because I've seen too many of them reveal a different face behind closed doors. I've witnessed Christian women betray their vows, cheating on their husbands while preaching scripture online as if faith absolves their actions. I've seen wives walk away after decades, 20, 30 years of marriage, simply because the man they once loved stopped being exciting enough. I've watched women take half a man's life savings, showing no remorse, even smiling as they do it, as if the money was theirs all along. You might be thinking you're different. You might believe you're special, the exception to the rule, but the cold truth is this: no matter how much you give, how loyal you stay, how consistent and steadfast you are replaceable. The moment she gets bored, her loyalty fades. This isn't about hating women. It's about seeing them clearly, without rose-colored lenses clouding your judgment. It means you stop projecting your own sense of loyalty onto them. Stop assuming they love the way you do. Because they don't. Most women are driven by emotion, swayed by novelty and change. Most are addicted to the rush of newness and incapable of sustaining deep, unconditional loyalty without constant external validation. And once you truly understand that, once you accept it without anger, without bitterness, without clinging to false hope, you become free. You stop being a pawn in the game. You stop getting played by illusions and empty promises. You stop getting heartbroken because you no longer believe in fairy tales or fantasies. Instead, you learn to believe in one thing: behavior. Consistent, repeated behavior that shows who someone really is. And from that clarity, you build armor, not to shut down your heart, but to protect your peace. So, what do you do with this hard-earned awareness? You protect yourself, fiercely and without apology. You stop oversharing your deepest thoughts, your vulnerabilities, your dreams, especially with someone who hasn't yet earned the right to hold them. You stop trusting too quickly, because trust is a currency that must be earned, not handed out freely. You stop giving your all to someone who hasn't proven they can handle the responsibility of your heart and your life. You become a careful observer, a vigilant guardian of your own peace. You vet harder. You watch for patterns, not just promises or sweet words, but consistent actions over time. You learn to believe actions over tears, reality over manipulation. And if she shows even the slightest sign of disloyalty, a hint of manipulation, a test of your boundaries, a crack in her integrity, you walk. No second chances, no negotiation, no wasting your energy trying to fix what isn't broken, because disloyalty isn't a problem you can mend with effort or love. You replace it. A man who truly values himself does not stay in a place where he's not respected, not honored, not cherished. And here's the unvarnished truth. When you stop believing blindly in women's words, when you stop being easy to manipulate, they start behaving differently around you. You become emotionally unshakable. You no longer react to every slight, every mood swing, every game. You don't chase. You don't explain yourself endlessly. You don't beg for clarity or validation. You see through the games, the subtle tests, the drama that once consumed you. And when she realizes she can't control you, when she knows you won't bend or break, she either steps up, showing genuine respect and loyalty, or she steps off. And either way, you win. Because you're no longer investing in fantasy or hope. You're operating from truth, from reality. And in this world where illusions run rampant and emotional chaos is the norm, that kind of clarity, that kind of power makes you dangerous. It makes you unbreakable. It makes you a man who cannot be fooled, manipulated, or taken for granted. That power is yours when you decide to honor yourself above all else. There's a quiet, almost unshakable power that comes when you finally stop looking for loyalty in all the wrong places, when you stop expecting women to be something they're not, when you stop hoping they'll fulfill the fairy tale you once dreamed of. That power isn't loud or aggressive, it's calm, steady, and unbreakable. It's detachment. It's the ability to see her clearly for who she truly is, not the version you wished she could be or the ideal you once imagined. And once you learn to move through life like that, you stop being disappointed. You stop being shocked by sudden changes or unexpected betrayals. You stop wasting energy asking, why did she change? Because deep down, you understand she never changed at all. She simply stopped pretending. The mask came off, and you saw what was always simmering just beneath the surface, the real her. And now that you've seen it, you no longer need to fight for closure or explanations because her behavior itself was the closure you needed. It was the answer you were looking for, clear as day. And don't let anyone guilt you for adopting this mindset. Don't let anyone label you as bitter, damaged, or toxic for having boundaries, for protecting your peace, for refusing to be a doormat. You are not toxic for having limits. You are not broken for guarding your heart and your energy. You are awake, truly awake in a way that most people fear. Most people fear awake men. They fear men who aren't swayed by beauty alone, who aren't fooled by fleeting affection, who aren't addicted to female validation like a drug, because that kind of man cannot be controlled. That kind of man is not easy to manipulate or gaslight. That kind of man asks the hard questions, observes the patterns, reads between the lines, and walks away the moment respect is lost. That man is dangerous to a system built on illusions and dependency. That man is free. That kind of man, the one who refuses to be manipulated or controlled, is dangerous to a system built on lies, illusions, and false promises. I no longer believe in soulmates or the idea of forever as a guarantee. Those are beautiful stories, sure, but what I believe in now is much simpler and much harder. Mutual respect, mutual benefit, and loyalty that is earned through actions, not given freely as a courtesy. Everything else, the sweet words, the smiles, the endless compliments, it's just poetry until it's proven otherwise. I don't care how much she smiles at you or how many compliments she showers you with. I don't care how magical the first 3 months feel. What I pay attention to is consistency. I watch for sacrifice. I watch how she acts when the easy days end, when the circumstances shift, when things aren't going her way, because that is when you truly see who a woman is beneath the surface. If her loyalty vanishes the moment you're no longer convenient, when you're no longer the perfect version of yourself she wanted, then you have to understand she was never truly yours in the first place. She was only loyal to the idea of you that served her needs, not to the man you really are. And yes, you will be tested. You will meet women who seem different, women who say all the right things, who appear genuine and sincere. But always remember, women are some of the most skilled marketers of their own image. They know how to package themselves as not like the others. They know exactly what you want to hear. They mirror your values, your pain, your dreams, reflecting back the perfect version of your hopes. But it's all just surface, all just a performance until proven over time. So be kind, be respectful, be present, but never be naive. Your trust is something precious. Your energy is a currency. And if she's not consistent, if her actions don't match her words, you exit. No explanations needed, no justifications required. Your peace is your priority. You are not the villain for protecting your peace. You are not cold for not trusting easily. You have evolved. You have stopped playing a rigged game that was designed to drain you emotionally and mentally. You have stopped being the emotional sponge for people who see you as disposable, who treat your loyalty like a convenience, not a gift. You've stopped giving your all to those who don't deserve even a fraction of your time or energy. And the moment you fully embrace that truth, everything starts to shift. You gain energy, you gain clarity, you gain power because you are no longer wasting your mental bandwidth trying to make sense of nonsense or justify inconsistency. A woman can love you deeply one week and forget you the next. It's a hard truth, but it's a real one. And the more you build your identity on her love, the more unstable your world becomes. That's why so many men crash hard after a breakup, because they weren't just losing a woman, they were losing the very source of their validation. But when your validation comes from within, from your purpose, your mission, your discipline, then no woman's affection or absence can shake you. You become emotionally bulletproof. Not because you don't feel, but because you don't rely on anyone else to make you feel whole. You become unshakable. Not because you don't feel, far from it. The difference now is that you no longer rely on anyone else to make you feel whole. Your sense of self, your value, your peace, these come from within. You'll hear the voices around you telling you to keep trying, to never give up on love, to open your heart again and again. And yes, keep your heart open, but keep your eyes wider and sharper, because love alone is never enough. Chemistry, passion, even loyalty, these can all fade when tested, especially if they're rooted in convenience, comfort, or selfish desire. What you truly need is character. You need emotional maturity. You need consistent proof through actions, through sacrifice, through endurance, not empty promises or sweet words whispered in moments of emotional high. Until a woman shows you this, without fail, day after day, you owe her nothing. Not your vulnerability, not your time, not your trust. She must earn her place in your kingdom, your life. And if she can't, then she simply doesn't belong there. When you reach the point where you no longer trust or believe any woman blindly, something inside you changes profoundly. You stop fantasizing about who she might be or who you want her to be. You stop projecting your hopes, fears, and expectations onto her. You stop being devastated by disappointment because you expect nothing and watch everything with clear eyes. This clarity is the high ground. This is the place where men of wisdom and experience live, away from illusions and self-deception. Make no mistake, you're not closed off. You're not numb or broken. You're simply clear. And that clarity brings peace. That clarity brings power. It's the reason why your next relationship, if it ever happens, will be built on strength, not desperation, on truth, not fantasy, on respect, not illusions, because now you know who you are, you know your worth, and you will never shrink yourself again just to be loved or accepted. One day, maybe a woman will prove herself different. She'll show up right, move with integrity, and stay consistent even when life gets hard and easy, comforts disappear. And when that day comes, you'll still be grounded. You'll move slow, steady, deliberate, and intentional, because trust is not something to be given freely or recklessly. Trust is a bridge built stone by stone with care and patience. It is earned over time, not handed out like a free sample or a fleeting promise. You'll lead with strength of character, strength of conviction, strength of boundaries. You'll lead with unshakable standards, and if she is worthy, she'll rise to meet those standards. But if she isn't, you'll walk away without hesitation, without regret, without looking back, because a man who no longer believes in illusions is no longer bound by them. He moves free, untethered by fantasy or false hope. So here's where I leave you, brother. I no longer trust or believe any woman on this planet, not out of bitterness, not out of pain, but out of peace. I've seen too much, learned too much, grown too much to live in delusion. Now, my loyalty belongs to myself first. My respect is earned, not given. My heart is protected with armor forged by experience. I move in truth, not in fantasy or wishful thinking. And understand this. This is not coldness. This is not bitterness. This is power. Because once you stop expecting loyalty from people who are loyal only to their feelings, only to what benefits them in the moment, you start building a life no one can ever take from you. A life grounded in reality, in respect, in self-worth. A life where you are the king, the judge, and the guardian of your own peace. This is freedom, this is power, and this is where real strength lives. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. If this message spoke to you or gave you something to think about, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new drop. I've got more real talk, more growth, and more power coming your way. So stay locked in. And if you're going through something right now, just remember, your silence can say more than 1,000 words ever could. Take care of yourself, keep rising, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.